All
right, there we are. Hello. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Did I come up with a background for my channel as I've been meaning to do? No. So we're just going to deal with the black background for now. It's fine.
Absolutely. I just use one random one I got off Canva, so no worries.
Yeah. Well, I haven't. I'll update it eventually, and then we'll have a blue background for everything. But good morning. Hello, everyone. We are here to do some reading and or productivity sprints, whatever the heck you need, for a couple of hours. I think I have to be somewhere around 1 or 2 o'clock, so we'll probably end then. But we're here for a little bit at least. Here for a good time, not for a long time. Anyways, we were just talking about the Eras Readathon and our approaches to it, which I think we both have the same approach.
I think so. It's very much like, here's what I'm reading. Where can I shove it?
Yeah, where can I shove it? And then I was telling Brittany, and this will help people. I was telling Brittany that at some point I'm going to be announcing all of the pairings from each album that made it to the first round. So you guys will be able to do a little more planning. Hey, Brianna, welcome. You'll be able to do a little more planning.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be interesting because I'm going to have to come up with round 2 so quickly after round 1 is finished.
Yeah, because did you say that you're switching out some of the prompts?
Yes.
Did I hear that?
I will. Not all of them all at once.
Oh, that's a good.
Every now and then I'm going, because that way you're not some of them, like our song. Did our song make it to the list? But that's a YA romance. Who's going to want to read a YA romance every single time? Especially since in this case, you can read multiple books for each prompt.
Right.
So I just have to figure out how to do the if-then thing on the Google spreadsheet so that the page count doubles, and then we'll be good. Hello, Cool Gamer. Thank you very much. Welcome. Anyways, so yeah, I am currently, I'm just reading books, and then I'm going to apply them to whatever prompts they fit to. And then there are a few that are specific that I'm I want to make sure that I get these done, like Delicate I want to do.
Yes, exactly. There's a couple of songs where I'm okay, I might have to add a book to fit that prompt. But in general, I think I can hit most of the 13 with existing videos I need to do for videos.
Yeah.
Various other.
I tried to keep the prompts generic enough that would work.
Yes, and we appreciate that.
So I tried to do that so that we would be able to. Thank you very much, Cool Gamer. It is very nice to have you watching. I tried it because it was just one of those things. I was I like building my readathon so that they can be added over top of whatever else you're currently or already doing.
Yeah.
It's because I think that's the approach I took for Fabelin. That's the approach I take for Weekend Word Nerdathon, which at some point we'll have another one of those. Just because I feel like especially since I announced them so last minute half the time, because I get the idea about a week before it needs to start. So it's just one of those things. I'm just going to make this so that it goes on top of everything I'm already doing. And then that kind of helps people out.
Absolutely. There's so much going on in BookTube now that it's nice when you can kind of overlap things and they work.
Yep, exactly. Hello, Jane. Jane is listening to The Luminaries while they plan for work. That is such a good. I have 3 copies of that book now.
I just got this so we don't have Barnes & Noble in Canada. We have Indigo Books, but it's basically the same thing. And they did a 40% off hardback sale right after Christmas, and Luminaries. I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, it must come with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got the Albert Crate edition of Luminaries, and then the only thing I wish I had known that Luminaries was going to be the Illumicrate book, because I would have gotten the Luminaries box for Illumicrate. But those book boxes, they announce a theme. They don't tell you what book they're doing.
Right. Yes. I didn't realize it was going to be a series.
Yeah.
I missed that. I missed that until the second one went on Twitter.
Way too much in that book for going on there for her to have resolved it in maybe a Brandon Sanderson sized book.
Right.
And I think she does a really good, like the pacing is almost perfect in that book, in my opinion. Like,
I appreciate smaller books and more of them than a Brandon Sanderson size book.
I mean, Brandon Sanderson does that size books and still does more.
Well, that's true. As I say that, I'm halfway through Priory of the Orange Tree reading a brick. So,
Yeah, I don't mind bricks. I just tend not to read them as often because they do slow my reading down a little.
Well, yes. I'm buddy reading that, so I can't read it this morning because Neva needs to catch up. So I'm like, I will wait. I'm at part 4. Luckily, it's in parts, so it's kind of a nice place to stop.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, hey, Ro, welcome. Ro has joined us. Nice to have you. Let's see. What are we trying to read, by the way?
I'm doing a little bit of a doubling up situation with Scatagorathon, and Eras, and I'm going to use this for Gorgeous for beautiful cover because I do think it's a very pretty cover. And this is what I'm reading, and I'm hoping to finish it today. I'm like halfway through.
Nice.
So I should be able to finish it. I think I have like 4 hours left on the audiobook, 5 hours.
Yeah.
So it's doable.
I am almost at the end of Chain of Gold. We've gotten to the point where everything is chaos.
So close. You guys were talking about that last night on Prince, and I've only read the first 3 books. So I was like, I have no idea who they're talking about.
Yeah, no, I
no idea.
I love Cordelia and James. I get that James has stuff going on. He is such a pure child, though. He's like, well, obviously you've done this thing that's going to be incredibly inconvenient. Like he's just like, of course I'm gonna do this to make it so that you're cool. You know what? Let me get rid of. Let me get rid of my sprints that I have on right here. But yeah, I'm finishing that up while I add, because I finished the book last night, so I get to add a row to my blanket, and then I'll finish that, so I get to add another row to my blanket, or 4 more rows to my blanket, because I add 2 per book. But once I finish that, I think I'm going to be switching over to Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel, because I just got that from the library, and it's a short one. And then if I pick up a physical read, I'll pick up my book for Scatagorathon, which is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm going to try and have this read. If this is the only book that I finish for Scatagorathon, I will be happy because it's on my TBR.
Yeah. I need to read The Inheritance Games as well at some point this year. That's
I need to read both of the first 2 books because my Goodreads project means I have.
Oh yeah, because the 3rd one was on the list.
The 3rd one was on the list, and I'm going to try for a lot of these to actually have read all of the books in the series. It depends on how many books have been in the series, because I don't know that I want to read all of Jennifer Lynn Armentrout's books just to get to book 5.
Yes.
She didn't win. Never mind. I don't have to worry about that.
Good. Because that's a lot. I was supposed to read From Blood and Ash this month, and would it have been smart to have used that for my Scatagorathon Start a Series with an A? Yes. Did I do it? No, because I didn't want to read that, and I wanted to read this.
That's so funny. Let's see. Speaking of From Blood and Ash, Brianna is still working on From Blood and Ash this morning, is definitely enjoying it, and will continue the series. Nice.
Ooh, good to know. I have been putting that book off, and then Hannah announced the readathon, and I was like, okay, well, I'll at least read the first one. But now it's the 21st of January, and I'm currently reading, I showed Margaret this earlier, all of these books. So it's probably not going to happen that I will be doing For Blood and Ash this month. I keep putting it off. I don't know why. I just keep putting it off, and I don't know why I keep putting it off.
Yeah, no, it's got a lot of books out. I mean, but I have to read the first Crescent City book for and From Blood and Ash for a video project that I am doing. So I will have at least read those. Let's see. Jane says, I still have Priory on my TBR for this month. Nice.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm really loving it. But I loved it like the first 5 pages when a dragon came out of the water and then spoke to me. I was like 5 stars. That's all I needed. The dragon came out of the
Sometimes it
water.
really is that.
So I was still in like the prologue, and I was like, done.
That is so funny. Let's see. Ro is currently reading and loving Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett.
I've seen this going around on BookTube.
Yes, I have. Let's go ahead. Good morning, Julie. Julie is currently reading Poison Heart and Small Miracles. Also trying to prep for a game tonight. Ooh, fun. What kind of game? And then Brianna says we could have buddy read it.
We could have planned that better. We could have coordinated. But I should have. It would have been the smart decision to pick a book that was already on my TBR. That would have been a really smart decision.
Mm-hmm. But you wanted to read the book you're reading.
But I wanted to read this one. And it is for a video project. It's not on my TBR, but it's not like, it's still a book I needed to read. So it's not like completely outside of.
Yep. If I can get, we'll see if I can get Sea of Tranquility finished. There are a couple of other books for the same video project that it's involved in that I would like to see if I can get through Scattergorathon, which I think Inheritance Games is going to be pretty quick to read. So
yeah, I think so, because it's YA, so it should read fairly easily.
I was reading a page over a page a minute for it, and that is pretty good for me. I'm usually like about like if I read for 40 minutes, I usually read about 30 pages.
Same. Yeah.
So,
same.
Let's see. Jane says, I know I'm about Prior. I know I'm going to love it, but it is the length that gets me. But I also have several others I need to read. Oh, yeah. Plus, I have had things on my Libby app come up versus my physical reads. Yep. You got to prioritize Libby.
That's the biggest issue with Priory is just like the physical issue of holding it. Like, I'm like, I should have got this on Kindle because like, just like the book is amazing, but like physically holding this is like impossible. Yeah. So I was like, for the prequel, I may just get the Kindle version and then like get the physical one for my shelf because I've heard that the dragons match up on the spines if you put them together.
Oh, that's clever.
So like I need that in my life, but then maybe I just won't open it. It'll just be for the dragons.
Nice. Okay. Oh, that's what I was going to the other window for. We should probably pull up a timer, shouldn't we?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go to my channel. I just realized I was like, oh, I should probably do that. Brief reminder that I do have a timer of 2 timers, actually. I'll get you guys more at some point, but so far we tend to only reuse 1. Julie says celebrating for a friend's birthday, so she's bringing the games. Nice. Let us pull up. We can close that. I already watched that video. Am I the only one that hates that they separate videos and lives now? Like, I want one place where I can see all of my videos at the same time.
Oh, on your channel. Yeah.
On your channel.
I thought you meant in your sub feed. And I was like, mine are still together. But yeah, on the channel. It's very interesting.
On the channel, in the studio, one of those places, I want to be able to see both of them all together. Like, it'd be cool if like they had little buttons at the top that was like videos and lives. But like just annoying to me.
Well, and there's some places where you can't even see your upcoming lives. And I'm like, I'm constantly trying to find the link. You can only get it at a certain spot. And I'm like, this is annoying to me.
Yeah. No, it is annoying. And I'm like, come on, man. I want to be able to take a look at all of my videos and see stuff when I'm trying to add them to like, what's the word? When I'm trying to add them to like playlists and that kind of stuff. So, all righty, let's add this in and we can start our first sprint. I'll try and keep us kind of on task because I do have less time today than normal. Usually going until about 3 o'clock is not a problem, but I was like, oh, let's just do this earlier. Oh, of course it decided it was gonna go on its own. Did I ask you? No. All right. Okay, let's go. Let's full screen that. And then 3, 2, 1, mute your mics. welcome back. In just a second, let's get rid of that. I forgot I'd muted YouTube because I had my thing up. So let's go ahead and undo that. So we'll hear this the next time it goes off. How did we do?
Just counting. I think 27 pages, which isn't too bad. And I made lunch too, so
Not bad. I am. I finished Chain of Gold, and then I got 17 pages into Sea of Tranquility.
Nice.
So.
And what is your final thoughts on Chain of Gold?
I mean, I loved it as much as the first 2 times I read it. So.
Oh, this is a reread for you.
Okay. Oh, this is a reread.
Gotcha.
This is a reread for me.
Gotcha.
It was a reread for me. Because I'm rereading this and I'm rereading Chain of Iron so that I can have everything nice and fresh when Chain of Thorns is in my hands.
Got you.
Anyways, this is a interesting book so far. We've started out in Edwardian England. Ooh. So
I love those blue sprayed edges. Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, aren't they nice? It's the Barnes & Noble special edition.
So beautiful.
Technically, actually, we're starting in Edwardian Canada. So, because he's just come over from England to Canada.
Gotcha.
We made it all the way over. We're in British Columbia now at this point. How is your book going?
It's going really good. I'm really enjoying it, but it's making me want to reread the original stories.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, I need to go get my copy of Frankenstein. But like, do I have time? No, but it's short, so I could.
I mean, you could find an audio book, and I do believe F is one of the stupid letters that Brianna pulled.
I could. And also, there's one person in here that it follows, like, I didn't know the story. And apparently it's a short story by Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, so I may have put that on hold at the library. Because I was like, I kind of want to know this reference. You know?
Yeah, it is always fun when you read something and you're like, oh, I want to read the original source material now.
Yes. And I've read all the other stories. Like, I haven't read Frankenstein in a long time, but I read like Dr. Moreau last year.
Yeah.
So like that one's fresh. But it's been a while since I've read Frankenstein. I've never read the short story. I actually didn't know. I had to Google it. I was like, what doctor is this? Like, I have no idea.
That makes sense.
Thanks,
so
goodness.
It's kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. So it's a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the first one follows Mary Jekyll, who's the daughter of Dr. Jekyll.
Jekyll and Dr. Hyde, yeah.
And then she teams up with the daughter of Dr. Moreau, the daughter of Frankenstein, and the daughter of the Rappaccini, who's from the
Nathaniel
Hawthorne short story that I had to look up because I was like, I don't know this reference at all. And basically, they're all these like evil doctors of Gothic literature.
Right? Okay, so they're the daughters of all of them.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That tracks. That tracks.
And it's like a cozy mystery where they're like solving a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite cute, but it's making me want to reread the source material or read the one that I clearly have never read before. So
that's interesting.
Apparently Nathaniel Hawthorne's going to be on my February TBR. Who'd have saw that coming?
Apparently. Let's see what we got. We've been joined by Nerdy Nat Reads. Hey, Nat. Hi, just joining in. Going to be reading an arc. I have of the Black Queen, a YA thriller. Ooh. Rejoined us. Says, hello. I think I'm going to read for a bit, then maybe migrate to do some editing and such. I don't either. I haven't sat down to figure out what I'm doing with my day yet. I
need to film really badly, but I'm putting it off.
I should probably film, except that everything that I need to film for this month is already filmed, and I still have the rest of my end of the year content to get through, which I'm going to try and knock out next week.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. So,
I still have to film my Tuesday video.
Oh dear.
I know.
That's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's not good that hasn't been filmed yet.
What
Luckily, it's just a TBR for a readathon, so like it's only 7 books, so it's not going to take me like.
Oh, for rom-comathon?
No, for the boy bands readathon.
Okay.
Yeah, for the Battle of the Boy Bands. So I have to do my NSYNC TBR, and so that won't take that long.
Speaking of boy bands, was anyone going to tell me that Lance Bass was gay?
You didn't know that?
I found that out through a podcast. I mean, I don't really follow them all that much because I wasn't allowed to listen to them. But I was like, oh, well, that's an interesting twist.
I think he's married with kids.
Yeah, he has a husband.
Yeah.
His name is Michael. They have a podcast now.
Yes, I saw the new podcast. I've seen it all over Instagram, like in real form. I haven't watched the podcast yet. I probably will, though, at some point.
Yeah. I was like, well, that is an interesting twist for the boy band to have taken, or someone on a boy band.
Well, I've heard this story that he was kind of told not to come out.
Yeah.
NSYNC was a band because they knew that would not help their rise band, because they wanted girls to swoon for them, and obviously that would hurt the swoon.
They missed the fact that girls will swoon over anyone regardless.
Right? Like, we don't care. And also then maybe some boys would have swooned. So,
Yeah, they don't care. And also
up your demographic.
Certain fans will fully erase your actual sexuality that you tell them so that they can imagine themselves with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was the 90s though. So I can kind of see that was probably
I can definitely understand being, especially if you're going to be in the public eye.
Yeah.
Like being more careful about that.
Mm-hmm.
Not even necessarily because of the band, but for your own fucking safety.
Mm-hmm.
So
especially at that time, like it was just not really talked about at all.
Yep.
In any sort of positive way. So I could see why, but
not in mainstream, at least. I'm sure that it was talked about in a positive way.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm sure. But yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting behind here. Brianna says on page 314 From Blood and Ash, someone just died. Do we care that they just died, though, Brianna? Do we care? And the main question is going to be, will I care? Right. Julie has read 10 pages of The Poison Heart and adores it already. Also says she loves the series that you're reading.
Yay, I'm loving it.
Yes. Brianna says, I'm filming tomorrow. I don't have the energy or motivation to do it today. Sundays are my filming days as well. So that's... Bree, you've had everything filmed for a year. Bree said I have everything filmed for the month, but I've had actually editing and uploading LOL since hence the only editing plans for the day. Yeah, you, we all know Bree's so good at staying on top of the... Bree might... Like, we are in competition for who can be less on top of their editing, I feel.
I'm usually editing like the night before, or there has been a few mornings where I'm like editing the morning it's going up, like an hour before. I'm like, I can edit it.
Yeah, usually I'm editing stuff the day that it's going to go up. Sometimes I'm good and it is only the like the final edit that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Although that tends to be the more intensive one. It depends. But okay, let's see. Hillary joined us. Hello, Hillary. I'll be starting The Light of All That Falls by James Islington. Nice.
I love the all caps.
Yes, we care. Oh, okay. I guess I'll figure that out when I get to it. It's over there somewhere. Is it? I think it's over there somewhere. It's possible. I can't see all of the titles. And Jane is 66 pages into The Luminaries and ate lunch. I need to go downstairs and make myself breakfast this next sprint probably. But I added a row, the genre row at least for the one that I finished.
I love the colors. That yellow is so gorgeous.
Yes, it matches I did all the colors to match my bedspread. Mm-hmm. So, but I have to add, let's see, we're adding a purple row as well because I just finished Chain of Gold, and then Sea of Tranquility is only 6 hours. So I will probably be done with this audiobook today. Oh, anyways, maybe we're not ready.
That 10 minutes went fast.
That was a little less than 10 minutes because I missed it.
I still feel like that flew.
Yes, same, Bree. I film in bulk with the plan to edit as I go, but then I forget to set aside my lunch break to edit and get focused on other tasks, projects. Yeah, I edit on my lunch break and I still have issues.
I would bulk film if I could, but I can only film when my child is quiet, which is so I have to kind of sneak it in to
Yeah.
quiet times.
It definitely does make certain aspects easier, but like, yeah, that can be difficult when you're having to deal with kiddos. Especially when they are beyond the stage where they physically need a nap.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always like, the other day I was like, okay, you have to be quiet. Mommy's just going to do a quick vlog update. And then he came in and he threw something in front of the camera and went, bloopers. And I was like, thanks. That's so helpful.
I mean, why not embrace it?
But like trying to vlog.
Yeah. And I'm sure that like consent and stuff is probably harder with him.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I don't put him in any of my stuff.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah, I just put not.
I think people are way too, especially like, I mean, like our channels, we're tiny. It doesn't really matter as much, but like people are way too, especially when you get bigger, they don't think as much about what it means to have their kid, or they don't care in some cases to have them in the in the videos. So let's see. Nat says, Nat Reed says, I bulk film and try to bulk edit at the beginning of every month, but I also do a lot of vlogs, so can't bulk film those. Yep, same. I am going to try and be finished enough with which I'm starting my 6th book on my TBR. So, and if there's only 8 this month, I'm going to try to be finished with as much of my TBR as possible by next month, so that I can just be like, okay, this 1 or 2, we're not going to worry about. We're just going to roll. So I would like to get to the point where I have the books on my TBR finished by the first half of the month, but then would it be any fun if I didn't have to see if I was going to pass or fail a quest, you know?
I mean, I think it's always that's a good theory that you're going to get it done early, but like in reality, we're always just like scrambling to the end of the month to get the books done.
It also doesn't help that, the ADHD means that my brain's not like, I don't need to finish it until there is a deadline, and the end of the month is a deadline.
Right? I just know for sure, like Blood and Ash is sitting there over there, and it's in my TBR stack, and I just know like it's 9 days, it's 10 days, it's not happening.
That's funny. No, because like I finished 2 books yesterday, or in the last 2 days, I had finished 2 books. Up until that point, I had finished 3 whole books for the month until yesterday.
Just always like, sometimes it's like I will go days and then it's like, oh, I finished like 5 books. That's what's going to happen with this stack over here.
Yeah, all at once.
It's all going to be like within days of each other because they've all have bookmarks in them.
But I really like to be done Assassin's Quest this month too. But I feel like because I'm buddy reading Chain of Thorns with Cal and Brianna, I feel like I want to be finished Chain of Iron first, so that I'm not holding them back. Although we do have to wait for scheduling reasons, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, Julie.
I have DNF as many books as I've read this month, and that's so funny. Yeah, I don't do that.
I've DNF'd 1 this month, and I powered through and should have DNF'd one of the ones I powered through for.
The only book I truly wanted to I will DNF books if I'm truly not enjoying, but the only book I truly wanted to DNF last year, I was like, I can't DNF this because if I DNF this, everyone is going to say my opinion on why this is bad isn't valid because I didn't finish the book.
Yes.
So
I can see that happening with the one that I did DNF. I put it in the video and I'm like, this is a really popular book, but I'm sorry. I did half the book and then I could not do it any longer.
I was part of the discussion. Brianna says it's better than finishing bad books. I've DNF'd 2 books this month. And I think sometimes like for me, I guess you could technically say I DNF books all the time. Like, yeah, that's not happening. But usually it's like with the intention of finishing it at some point.
Yeah.
Just not happening now. It's very, very seldom that I'm like, this is a hard no. It's not happening. So how about we do another splint?
Sure.
Coolios. All right, 3, 2, 1, and mute your mic. Hello, welcome back. I got breakfast and also read some. I read 28 pages that time. It is
Nice.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you do?
I got 32, which isn't too bad.
Not bad, not bad. I also found out that my plans for this afternoon were pushed a little later, so we'll probably go all the way to 2 o'clock.
Sounds good.
But yeah, anyways, so yeah, it's interesting. It sounds like they're going to establish each of the characters kind of at their moment when the thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a specific life event that links all of them, even though they're in different timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing because we just started the second point of view, it's very like establish the character and the setting heavy,
Yeah.
not a lot of plot just yet. Like I'm not like there is very little knowledge of how the plot goes.
Mm-hmm. What genre is it? Because I don't think I heard of it. I've heard of this book until you showed it on your TBR. I think that was the first time I heard it.
Station 11.
Yes.
Yeah, so Station 11 is the one that she's really, or Emily St. John Mandel is really well known on, or known for. This is, so it's sci-fi. It's like very light sci-fi. Like this, I believe, is sci-fi because aliens.
Yeah. That would make it sci-fi. Okay.
Yeah. So unless they're, coming from underneath the ground, in which case I do believe that's horror.
Yeah. True. True. Okay. Got you.
But yeah, so it's interesting. It's very interesting because I am noticing that a lot of these books that are making it to this list of the 12 most popular fantasy and science fiction books are, because this is that way, How High We Go in the Dark, and then Kaiju Preservation. This is the sci-fi that's making it onto this list is sci-fi that is very much set in the real world, and it's also like more character focused. The plot isn't really there as much, So it's very interesting for me to kind of be noticing this trend. I feel like we've had a little more variety in some of the fantasy, but we'll see when I get done with this.
That is interesting to see, like what's making the Goodreads. Maybe because it's maybe more like consumable sci-fi versus like your chunky.
Yeah, and this is also the top 12 most shelved for science fiction and fantasy. They're combined in the same one for this. So I'm not surprised we're not seeing a lot more variety. There's a lot more fantasy than there is science fiction. Yeah. There is, looking at the sci-fi genre for the Goodreads Choice Awards, that looks like there's a little bit more variety between like soft sci-fi and hard sci-fi and like stuff that's science heavy and stuff that's going to be more character based and that kind of thing. So it's interesting to see what people gravitate towards when they gravitate towards science fiction.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's see how everyone else did. We were joined by a mountain of books. Hello, I'm trying to finish reading The Eye of the World before the live show on February 4th, and I'm only on 188. You've got like 2 weeks though.
You're good.
You have got this. It is, it's slow at the beginning. It's a slow book overall, but it is also very, very interesting as they start getting out into the world and start like meeting like other people and getting into some of the intrigue. You can tell it's very much in conversation with Lord of the Rings, but he did better with the female characters. Unsurprisingly for 95. Let's see. Brianna fed the dogs, which is a job in and of itself, took the trash out and read 41 pages. Nice. Howard the doggos this morning. Jane finished The Luminaries. What did you think? I won't be mad if it wasn't a 5-star, I promise. I might get a little sad. I might cry a little on the inside. I don't actually cry. A Nerdy Nat read about 30 pages, getting closer to the. What were you reading? Getting closer. I was
just about to scroll up in the comments for this exact purpose.
Let's.
Because I don't remember.
I know you told me, but I also have a hard time remembering things. Oh, Black Queen. Oh yeah, that's his thriller. Okay, so getting closer to when the actual crime is occurring. Nice. And then Julie made cookies and ate lunch and finished chapter 1 of Poison Heart. Nice. We are being productive people today.
I was going to say, people got so much done during that sprint. I need to pick up Luminaries. Every time I see someone reading it, I'm like just itching to go pick it up.
It is, if you want a Buffy feeling with the like community aspect of Gilmore Girls, like I would say go for that. It's like, and I've never seen Supernatural, but it feels like a mix of Gilmore Girls, Buffy, and Supernatural all kind of together.
It's like right over there. I can see it. It's on that shelf right over there.
It's really fun. Winnie is a fun protagonist. I don't like she like knowing that she can write the longer, thicker fantasy. I mean, even the Witchlands is not that thick, but like knowing she can write the more complex, longer fantasies, like the fact that she's also able to write this story that's pretty brief.
Yeah, it's pretty
but also very well fleshed out as far as the world building goes. Like she doesn't go into too much detail. There's a lot that you kind of have to learn as you go. But I thought like it was the perfect amount of world building. It was the perfect amount of like, because it's mostly focused on the character and this kind of mystery of what is it that the main character saw in the woods that night. So, and her having to navigate all of these, like the main plot of this is her having to navigate all of the politics of her trying to get her family out of exile.
I know. It sounds so good.
Okay, good. I'm glad I got that. That correct. Jane says it felt like Supernatural and Gilmore Girls. I haven't watched Buffy. So like if Lorelai's
shows I love, like this should be a fantastic book. Like should be fantastic.
If Lorelai's parents had completely cut her off and also weren't rich and also were dead. I'm pretty sure her grandparents are non-existent.
That's fair enough.
And also her father had committed crimes.
So a darker version of the Gilmore Girls, for sure.
Yeah, it's like it's very it's like this, like the politics of Gilmore Girls, like that small town feeling with the kind of content and world building of Buffy. Let's see, Michelle with Glitter and Says that I'm just finishing Waypoints by Sam Heughan. It's a memoir of an actor who plays Jamie. Oh yeah, the actor who plays Jamie on Outlander.
I was gonna say, I know like the Sam. I'm not even gonna attempt that last name. Name sounded familiar, and I was like, how do I know that name?
That might actually be a little bit hard of a Heughan, because he's I believe Scottish, or he's like actually from whatever country Jamie lives in, which I believe is Scotland, because they're wearing.
It is Scotland.
They're wearing.
I read the first 4 Outlander books, and I did the 5th one.
I am aware of Outlander in as much as I've seen a lot of like analysis of it and GIFs and stuff. I haven't watched it just yet. So
it's really, the first 2 books are good. After that, it starts to get a little bit just like, here's the people in their lives in the 1600s, and it gets a little like Little House on the Prairie, but older.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't for me after the first 2 books, but the first 2 books were good.
Yeah. I am still not over the fact that like they went 20 years in the future and they kept the same actors. And like, one gray streak in Claire's hair does not make her 40, or I mean, she'd have to be like 50 at that point based on what like the actor's age. I'm like,
yep.
Let's see. Hello, Rally Reviews has joined us and finished Ninth House last night. So glancing at the bookshelf for what I want to start next. That is a valid thing to do, especially after having finished Ninth House, because like that ending.
I haven't read Ninth House yet. I need to. Yeah. I'm feeling such FOMO with everyone reading Hellbent.
Ninth House finished Gallows Hill. LOL, just waking up. Ninth House is one you have to really like slow burn plots, because there is a mystery that does not fully get solved in that book. It's very much like it's Dark Academia. It's very much about vibes. It's about kind of exploring these characters. But it's not like, it is not going to have a lot happening plot wise until you get to because all of it is kind of setting up the atmosphere and the politics and all of that so that the ending can happen.
Yeah. I feel like that's really common in Dark Academia just as a whole. It's very character driven, and then it hits at like the second half.
Yeah, some of it is like I have like Brianna was bored trying to read it, and like I can 100% see why someone would get 100 pages in and be like, I am like I can 100% see that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jane says, I just read Ninth House on Monday and then went right into Hellbent. Rally, yes, I just got the sequel Hellbent the other day. So I will start that soon. Nice. I am probably going to get it from I'm planning on doing like a reading Dark Academia sequels vlog for both Hellbent and the Atlas Paradox to kind of follow up my Dark Academia vlog where I read the first books. I don't think there were any other series in there, but anyways, we'll see. All right, let's get this bad boy back up. I am going to, all right, 3, 2, 1, and unmute your mic. right, there we go. I think we're going to do one more that's probably going to be about 30 minutes.
Sounds good.
So give me just a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did it go for you?
I got 19 pages, and I was up doing mom life things for half that sprint. My son had built something, and he wanted to show it to me, so I had to go in and see that and hear the whole process of it, which was lovely. He did a very good job, but that took time.
Give me just a second. I'm trying to find.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay, 89. We got quite a bit done that time. That was 44 pages for me.
Nice.
We've been our third protagonist. I'm very interested in how all of this is going to come together. Because, like, we have one person that is from, like, 1912. We have one person that's from, like, present day. And then one person's from, like, 2230. So
are they all together, or is it like different timelines?
It's different timelines.
Okay.
So
you never know with sci-fi. I just wanted to double check.
So far. Anyways, let's see. Hillary showered and made it to page 38. Nice. Rally says, oh, you listened to his presentation.
I did.
Yeah. Nice. How is your book going so far?
I'm really liking it. Like I thought I would like it because I do. I'm a nostalgic reader. So anytime that there's a retelling, I'm pretty much going to love it. Like unless it's done poorly, just because like I am a super nostalgic reader.
Yeah.
But this is like even more than I thought I was going to like this. Like I'm really enjoying it. It's like a book within a book. So the characters are writing the story of what happened, but like injecting little comments as they're writing it. And the little comments as they're writing it is just hysterical. Like I just keep laughing at these characters because it adds such personality to each character. And
I know sometimes people have feelings about books that have footnotes, but like when they're in character, I absolutely adore them. So, and then remind me, is this the first book in the series or the second?
No, this is the first, and it's just a trilogy. It's like completed. So I love a trilogy because then I feel like I'm not taking on like a huge, some series are real long.
Really long.
They're real long. A trilogy is so doable.
Yep. That is, I feel like sweet spot is like 3 to 5 books for me.
Yeah.
If you're going to be going for further than 5, I'm like, no.
It's hard to commit to something bigger than 5.
Like it better be finished by the time I get to it. You know what I mean?
Me too.
So, okay. How did everyone do? Hold on. I'm trying to get to my page again so we can get my other timer up. But let's see. Jane says, I read 42 pages of Sea of Ruin while I did some more planning for work.
Nice.
And then Brianna says, read 48 pages and I'm almost done. It's really good. Awesome.
Almost done. That's exciting.
And Bree is almost done their author's page. Is this for like a bullet journal, like your reading journal? Interesting. I need to go and get the stats, the spreadsheet from Hardback Order. I keep meaning to do it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh, well, I say this as I bought it, but I haven't filled it in.
Yes, I know. And I am currently 5 books in to the year, almost 6. And I feel like that is a good spot to have to fill everything out.
I'm like 12. Like I need to get on that or it's going to become a problem.
That is sounding. I also need to get started on like my reading journal so that I can start doing reviews for my January books. So
I'm not good with keeping up on a reading journal. I've bought so many, but I'm just really bad at like actually like I'll do it for 3 books and then I will be like, oh, I haven't touched that for 7 books.
My thing is I'm really bad at keeping up with it. But I love like setting it up. That's so much fun for me.
Yes.
And like when those things, like when I am on top of things, those things work. Let's see. Brianna says I'm using Allie's tracker this year with a few additions that I did myself. I've been thinking about it like every single year, and I just haven't yet. But also, she has a purple one. So, let's see. Bree says it's for my spreadsheet, calculating number of books read, number per star rating for that author, and then average and median ratings for each.
Oh, nice.
So we're doing some analysis and some number crunching. I love it. Let's see, for all the ones on Goodreads. That's fun. I currently, it's funny, the reason I haven't started doing Storygraph is because I still use, I use Goodreads once a month to log all of my books.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also use an app called Bookly because it gives me like a kind of an idea of reading time.
I've heard good things about Bookly.
Yeah, I like it. It's a little glitchy for me for reasons that I don't understand. Like it keeps telling me, get a Bookly Pro account. I'm like, you charged me last February. I have Pro. I don't know why you keep going reverting to the non-Pro version.
Yeah, that is odd.
Yeah, they had a glitch in August of 2021, and mine just has not been the same since.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I figure I'll get I like having the stats, and I want to go back to doing stats again. And I think that Allie basically covers everything in her spreadsheet.
So. Oh, it's so in depth. It's so good.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I use my Goodreads because I just can't be bothered to try and transfer it over, but I still have Storygraph and nobody follows me on it. But it's just so that I can get the stats for my end of my month with my pages and stuff. Like no one knows that I'm over there. No one could find me even if they wanted to, probably. And it's just for me, for my personal stats. Like there's no, I have no want to reads, no shelves, nothing. It's just for my current month reading stats and my year stats.
That's funny. Let's see. Bree says, yeah, I mean, I could do all the time if I remembered every book I ever read.
Yeah.
But I'm basically getting stats for all the authors I've read for purposes of analyzing who to read from, who not to, and also some video things. You might like Bookly, or not Bookly, Storygraph then, because I think Storygraph kind of analyzes based on mood and other things as well in the book to kind of give you an more idea of what you like in your reading taste. That's what really appeals to me about Storygraph.
Mm-hmm. I like that it tells me also how many in each genre I've read a month.
Yeah.
And just those stats where that way I don't have to keep track of it myself. But I think there's places like I said, I bought the spreadsheet. I haven't filled it out yet. So what's in Allie's spreadsheet is questionable to me at this point. I really need to sit down and do that. But I feel like that's probably going to be a good place to get most of my stats once I actually sit down and fill it out, which really needs to be a goal by end of month because I cannot go into February with all of January not entered into that spreadsheet.
That makes sense. Let's see. Brianna says, I added my rubric a blend of Cassie's and Cawpile in my own series tracker because I didn't like Allie's in my master author tracker. Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The series tracker for goals that I am doing for this year would make sense for me because I need to actually make some progress in some of the series that I'm reading. I had a lot of series where I started it and then I got caught up on the series last year, but I started it and got caught up in the same year. So that doesn't really, I don't feel that counts. For reading series.
Yeah, I have so many series. I'm horrible at starting them and never finishing them. I have 30 some on the go at the moment.
I don't have time. I have to do all of this other stuff first.
It's so many things.
So
I can't focus on everything. It's impossible.
Yep. And so, anyways, give me just a second. Wouldn't you just be able to adjust the numbers for Cawpile in yours to match the rubric that you created, though? Question mark. Nope. Go. Yeah. Bree says, yeah, my spreadsheet basically is my place. Goodreads is more just to keep my reviews and other people's thoughts. Haha. That makes sense. I just know the fewer things that I have to fill out, the better. Oop, okay. That's our timer. Hold on. Let me pull up the new one because that one doesn't do 30 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Give me just a second. And I will have to give my uncle a call to set up when I'm coming up to see him in just a minute while we're doing this. So I don't know how much reading shall get done. But
That's always my life on sprints. I'm like, who knows what will happen, really?
Who knows?
Goals, but.
Okay. All right. Let's go for 30 minutes. 3, 2, 1, and mute your mics. I am honestly not going to even try to say how many pages I read because I had the phone call and then I was setting stuff up and I was so focused I forgot to start my audiobook. So
I have been there.
yes.
Of coming back and being like, I did no reading in that sprint or very little.
Yeah.
You know, life happens.
Well, here's the frustrating is I had the opportunity. I just forgot to start the audiobook because I was trying to figure out like what's my uncle's address. And of course my mother hasn't been there since before I was born.
Oh, wow.
Had to enter that address in since before I was born because she and my dad and my uncle all lived together for a hot minute when they first got married. And then they moved down the street from him. And then we moved here. But I'm like, I can't remember. I know what road it's on. I can't remember the house number. So I'm sitting there trying to figure all of that out. But, oh, bye, Brianna. I will see you later. I may be able to join you like later in the evening. I'll text you that though. But how did you do reading?
I did about 20 pages. 20, I think like 19 or 20.
That's not bad for half an hour.
No, it was probably my best sprint. And I got book mail, which is exciting.
Oh, nice. I have book mail that I need to open, but I was going to open it on a vlog, but now I have completed that vlog. So now I don't know when if I'm going to open it now or it's been sitting there for like 2 weeks because I bought it when the Barnes & Noble was having the 50% off sale at the beginning of January. It's been sitting there since it got here. I'm just like, oh my God, I forgot I had new books.
Yeah, I'm trying since the Barnes & Noble sale, although I have a huge book haul coming out, but most of them are like Christmas book haul books. But I'm trying to be really particular just because I have such a huge TBR. Like I do not need to buy books. So like if I want to read them, maybe like library it for now or ebook it or something, you know, and if I really love it and need a copy after, then maybe I'll do that. So I'm just I'm trying. It's going to be very difficult. But this one, it's my book club pick for my book club that I do with Kelsey for February. And the library hold list was like 80 people long.
I always prefer to have that physically too, because I want to be able to like mark it up if I feel the need to. It doesn't always happen. Especially since I've had stuff like Once and Future Wishes where I started marking it up and then very quickly realized there are things about this that if they're not fixed, I'm not going to want to keep this book. So I didn't.
Right. So, and tabbing for book club books, like I just sometimes prefer to like have a physical copy so that I can like have it for the discussion.
Yep.
So, luckily Book Outlet had the book and I had a $5 off coupon and $5 off points. So it was only like $3 for the book. So
I saw they're starting to gain some traction again.
Yeah.
So anyway,
they're one of those questionable ones, but I was like, I just needed a cheap book.
I need this book and budget.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly like it's the same thing with Amazon. Like it's not my preference personally, but I can't really fault people for doing what they need to get a book they need or want for a price that they can afford.
Yeah. I definitely prefer to like go to my actual like bookstores, but sometimes that's not always doable, but I try to do that as much as possible. Amazon is probably the one that if I can't get most of the time, that's probably where I'm getting it from. Just because if I'm going to ship it from a mass corporation, I might as well use my free Prime 2-day shipping.
Yeah. For me, I have free shipping from Barnes & Noble.
Oh, nice.
So it's one of those things like I'd rather like it usually ends up being still more expensive than I'd pay on Amazon. But specifically for books, like there's other stuff that I'm like, you know what, Amazon is the best place for me to get this, especially when we're in the pandemic and like I needed my lotion and the only place my lotion was available is Walmart. I'm not going to Walmart in a pandemic, but like books especially, I try to avoid getting them outside of like my occasional Audible, getting them from Amazon just because I know that Amazon is terrible about paying authors.
Yeah.
So, but
I wish I had free shipping. Indigo Books, Canada is so hard to get free shipping.
Yeah. I wonder if Indigo has them because for Barnes & Noble you have to have the membership. So I wonder if Indigo
I have the membership.
Oh, okay.
And you still have to spend, I think it's $35 or $40 to get free shipping. So if I just need one book,
Yeah.
I can't get
What's
free
the point?
shipping. Like I need to buy like 3 or 4 books to get free shipping,
Mhm.
which is fine. But when you're in a book buying ban, that's not
Yeah.
ideal.
I am trying, and I said this last year, I'm trying to curtail the number of books that I buy. So I'm trying to make it either something that I know I'm going to read right away, or something like do less like random buying things.
Yes.
Which I'm usually pretty good about, but like I like to be better about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a book. I buy too many books. Like I will admit it to anyone that is asking.
See, I typically I don't like owning books I don't like.
Yes.
So a lot of the time I will only buy a book if either I've read it or I know the author is some like I've read it and I know I like it and I know the author is someone that I like. Or I know the author is like V.E. Schwab. I get her books right away, even if she has disappointed me in the past.
Right.
I got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I was like I finished the book. I was like, that was such a mistake. Why did I let Brianna and Cal talk?
I didn't like that book.
I liked it up until the end.
I'm sad because I actually haven't read that much Schwab. I've only read 2. Well, 3. Okay. I read Addie LaRue was my first one, which was probably not a good first V.E. Schwab book to read. And then I read The Near Witch, which was okay.
It's an interesting retelling of The Pied Piper.
Yeah. And then I read, it's her middle grade series, City of Ghosts.
City of Ghosts, yeah.
Yes. So I read the first book, and I actually really liked that. So I think I need to like give some of her more popular books a chance.
My favorite is the Darker Shade of Magic series, or Shades of Magic series. That's the one I like. So, all right. Well, let me check in with everyone else and see how we did. I do need to go because I need to get a couple of things ready before I go see my uncle. So Jane says I got 16 pages done, but also watched YouTube. Relatable. So let me, okay. All right. So I will, Brittany, is there anything coming up on your channel that you want?
I have sprints tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern.
All right. So if you need more sprints, Brittany's channel is the place to go. I will make sure to get that link in there before I leave for my uncle's house.
Thank you.
Yes. You're also the only Brittany Loves Reading on YouTube.
I am. If you just search me, I come up pretty quick. Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and everyone have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Bye. Oh, hold on. I didn't hit the button.
You didn't hit the button?
I hit the first button, but not the second one.
I love that. The one time I didn't wave for the whole 2 minutes that takes StreamYard to go.